Hey, what's up, guys? This is Cody the Coin Raptor, and in today's video, we're going to talk about some very impactful news that happened recently. And what we have here right now is that the crypto firm Paxos is facing SEC charges in order to stop minting the Binance stablecoin BUSD. So this right here is massive. This is huge, okay? So what happened here is that the Paxos firm will stop issuing new Binance USD or BUSD. This was kind of their stable coin that they've minted on the Ethereum blockchain. And if you go down here, you can take a look at how CZ kind of describes this and saying that this is not at all directly managed by Binance itself. In fact, it's owned and managed by Paxos. So the statement that they put out was effective February 21st, Paxos will cease issuance of new BUSD tokens as directed by and working in close cooperation with the New York Department of Financial Services. And they disagree with the SEC staff because BUSD is not a security under the federal securities laws. So if you guys have been paying attention to the kind of war that the SEC has been waging on various crypto companies, a lot of the debate centers around what is a security and what is not a security. And because the SEC has defined BUSD as a security, it then falls under these specific federal securities laws, and then they can go after these companies for these products, for these coins, and say they're securities, they don't fit under the law, you guys are not abiding by the law, and then we're going to go ahead and charge you, fine you, and prevent you from minting any more coins, which is exactly what they did in this case. And so this, just to put it in context, Binance USD or BUSD is number 7 on the top market cap cryptocurrencies. Okay, so it's number 7. It is the third largest stablecoin after Tether and USDC. Then you have BUSD. So this is a pretty major impact to a stablecoin. And now you can actually see right now the market cap is about $15 billion. So this had a pretty profound impact on Binance itself, even though it is not directly controlled by Binance. It still had a massive impact in the Binance price. We can see here that Binance took about almost 8% a loss today. It's recovered a little bit, but it took a huge hit. And as you can see, it's actually found support right where we have our support trend line here at about 282 or so. It made it down there. It got to about 283 and then was rejected strongly off of this support level. So with your Binance coin and the banning of the BUSD, that had kind of a knock-on effect to not only Binance coin, but the entirety of the crypto market. So Bitcoin today was down, Ethereum was down, even though the NASDAQ was up today. The NASDAQ had a heavily green day. It was up over 1%. And meanwhile, most of the cryptos were actually down. And when you see such a divergence in the behavior, right? Because usually you have Bitcoin and Ethereum and other cryptos, they move in coordination with the NASDAQ. And when they don't move in correlation with the NASDAQ, usually there's something wrong or there's something going on. And today we had this huge news about the charges being leveled against Paxos. And so that's the reason why the markets failed to rally while the NASDAQ rallied. So right now, Binance coin seems to have stabilized out a little bit. And you can see kind of down here on the hourly that it went all the way down here to about 23, 24 RSI on the hourly and then bounced upwards. We had some pretty huge volume coming in and selling BUSD. And as you can see here, about 25,000 here and about 25,000 there, dragging the price all the way down. Now, if we take a look at the daily, what we can see here is currently where things stand with Binance Coin is it's staying right here at about the support line. It bounced off very nicely off the support line, and judging by the huge wick to the bottom here, to the downside, all of this was bought up, and we'll see where it closes at the end of the day. But it seems like there's a lot of support for Binance Coin around this area. Call it between 282 and about 293. There's a lot of support here for that in this area. However, if it loses this support level here at 282, what you could see is another retreat down here to 262 and then another retreat down to 250. Those are your next support levels for Binance Coin. All right. So let's talk about Bitcoin for a little bit here. So Bitcoin, I had been thinking about whether or not I want to go ahead and buy this little bit of a dip here. So what I did was I went and mapped out both the heavy resistances and the heavy supports right here. So what I have here is the support, this heavy resistance line here at about 24,000, and then the heavy support line starting at about 16,300. And the reason why I put this up is because I was running a risk to reward kind of strategy in my head and thinking, well, if I bought here, right, at about 21,600, would I be closer to resistance or would I be closer to support? And so I gamed this all out and I put out my indicators here. And if I were to buy at about 21,600, I would be much closer here to the resistance than I would be to the support. So essentially what I'm risking here is the risk is all the way down here to the downside to about 16,300, whereas the reward would be at the first sign of heavy resistance, which is about 24,000. So it's a little unbalanced right now. The risk to reward ratio just is not there for me currently to be buying Bitcoin at these levels. What I'd be interested in instead is maybe at around 19,000 down here or so in this area. That way you have it's better balanced. It's more in between both the support and the resistance band. It gives you better risk reward. And so I'd be more interested in buying Bitcoin at somewhere 19.5, 19.7, somewhere in that range. And that also kind of follows directly with what we talk about with the realized price, which is the average cost basis for Bitcoin. And right now that's sitting at about 19,800. That would mean that buying Bitcoin at this level is undervalued. So that's what I'm looking for right now. I'm looking to get it kind of in that area. And it's entirely possible that we will wind up seeing Bitcoin retrace back down to about the 19,000 level. And that's not a given, though. I'll say that's not a given 100%. If we actually take a look at the 200 MA, the 200-day MA, we can see that that's kind of where the support level sits here at about 19,700. And we have a very important event coming up that could greatly impact the Bitcoin price. And as you guys recall, there is the CPI numbers that are being released tomorrow at about 8:30 a.m. Now, what's important to point out about the CPI is that people right now are expecting, this median forecast is approximately 0.4%, and what they're looking at right now is the year-over-year number to be about 6.2. If it comes in higher than that, what you could wind up getting is a strong pullback in Bitcoin and the larger, broader stock market and crypto market. They could both come down if it winds up coming in much higher than people are forecasting right now. So that's a possibility. Now, is that a likely possibility? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Personally, I'm not going to be betting either way. I'm going to wait till the CPI comes out, and then I'll make my move depending on what happens with the CPI. Because if we do get a price if we do wind up getting a price drop after the CPI, I'm definitely interested in buying, especially if it's close here to 19,700, somewhere in this range. However, if it comes in at forecast, right, that 6.2 level that we talked about, 6.2%, then we could wind up getting some more sideways action. But either way, we're going to wind up seeing some volatility, and it's entirely possible that we do get a push to the upside as well. However, I don't expect that it's going to be able to take out this resistance level here at 24,000, but we'll see what happens. I think that anything basically is on the table right now with CPI, but one thing's for sure, we're going to see a lot of volatility coming in tomorrow. We're going to see huge volumes coming in, and we could either see a huge dump to the downside here to 19,800, or we could see a big move to the upside here at 24,000. Both are on the table as far as I'm concerned. But it all depends upon what happens with the CPI. If the CPI comes in higher, then people are going to think that the Fed's going to have to raise rates and keep those rates higher for longer, and that is a detriment to Bitcoin and any other risk assets. Okay, so with Ethereum, Ethereum is in a very similar kind of boat to Bitcoin right now. Now, we take a look at Ethereum, and I've done the same thing and kind of mapped out the heavy support levels and the heavy resistance levels. And right now, the risk reward for me is not good enough to justify paying at these prices, because right now you can see there's heavy support here at about 1,000, and then there's heavy resistance at about 2,000. So it's pretty simple, right? But right now the price is about 1,500, so it's definitely closer to the heavy resistance level rather than the heavy support level. And I'd be more interested in buying it more towards the heavy support level. There is the 200-day moving average right now for Ethereum is 1440. So if this current support line here at about 1,500 doesn't hold, then you can probably guess that this is going to be strong support here at 1443. And if that doesn't hold, what you're looking at is probably here at about 1322. Okay. Now, anywhere, as far as I'm concerned, if I could kind of get it below in this region right down here at about 1,300, that would be kind of where my target buy area is. But I'm definitely interested in seeing what happens after the CPI comes out tomorrow and seeing how the market reacts. All right. So that's kind of how I'm looking at things. That's how I'm looking to play things with the CPI. I'm going to wait to see what happens during CPI. I'm not going to make a big bet before the actual number comes out, and I'm going to wait for the things to settle down a little bit. If there's a big dip, if there's a big liquidation going on, I'm definitely interested in getting in. However, if the price spikes massively, I definitely am not getting in. I'm staying away from that, and I'm waiting for things to settle a little bit. Okay? So that's all I've got for you guys today. If you like this content, let me know. Like, subscribe, and go ahead and leave a comment as well. Follow me on Twitter for the most up-to-date information, and I will be covering the moves that the market makes tomorrow when the CPI is announced, and then we can figure out how things are going to play out, and then I can go ahead and kind of game plan my strategy for the rest of the week. All right, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think the CPI is going to come in hotter than expected, or is it going to wind up being a bullish? I'm definitely interested in hearing about that, or what you guys plan on doing for the week. This is Cody the Coin Raptor, and I hope to catch you guys in the next video.